Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something super important in this social media, heavy, fast, moving world, how to train yourself to be unbothered. Trust me, I've learned this the hard way. As someone who's grown up in front of the camera, I've had people judging, commenting, even doubting. But guess what? I've trained myself to stay focused, calm, and unbothered. Let me share how you can do it too. Protecting your peace is honestly one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself, especially in today's world, where there's so much noise, so many opinions, and so many distractions coming at you all the time. For me, growing up in the public eye and working in the entertainment industry since I was really young, I learned pretty quickly how important it is to guard your inner calm like it's your most valuable possession. Because it truly is. Your peace of mind is what keeps you grounded. It helps you stay clear, headed, focused, happy, and most importantly, true to yourself. There was a time when I would try to please everyone. I thought that if I just worked harder, smiled more, said yes more often, or explained myself better, maybe everyone would understand me, accept me, or support me. But guess what? It never really worked that way. There's always going to be someone who doesn't like what you do, who questions your choices, or who just has negative energy, and that's not your fault, that's their issue. I had to learn, sometimes the hard way, that trying to be everything for everyone is the fastest way to lose yourself. That's when I started to shift my mindset. I started treating my peace like it was gold rare, precious, and worth protecting at all costs. And when you start thinking that way, everything changes. You stop over-explaining yourself. You stop letting people's bad moods affect your good one. You stop getting pulled into drama or arguments that don't even matter. You learn to walk away not because you're weak, but because your peace is more important than proving a point. One thing that really helped me was creating boundaries. I know that word sounds super serious or even cold, but boundaries are actually the most loving thing you can create for yourself and for the people around you. It's like saying, hey, I love and respect myself enough to not allow toxic energy into my space. And that energy could be anything: constant negativity, people who drain you, fake friendships, or even social media comments that don't come from a kind place. You don't owe anyone access to your energy just because they want it. You get to choose who gets to be close to you. You get to choose who you respond to. And that power, that's everything. For me, it also meant taking breaks from things that felt too loud. Like sometimes I'll step away from social media for a bit if I feel overwhelmed. Or I'll say no to events, shoots, or even hangouts if I feel like I need time to just breathe and reset. And I used to feel guilty about that, like I was letting people down or missing out. But now I see it differently. I see it as self-respect. Because when I take care of my peace, I come back stronger, happier, and more present for the people and the work I care about. And honestly, this isn't just about big things. It's about the small, everyday choices we make. Like choosing to not react to a rude comment, choosing to take a walk instead of scrolling for hours, choosing to spend time with people who uplift you instead of drain you. All of these little decisions build up and create this powerful, peaceful space inside you that no one else can shake unless you let them. I also want to say, it's okay to outgrow people, places, and even parts of yourself that no longer support your peace. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means you're evolving, and your peace should grow with you. Sometimes people will call you too sensitive or too distant when you start protecting your peace. But that's okay. You're not responsible for how people react to your boundaries. You're only responsible for your energy, your joy, and your well-being. So here's what I've learned. Protect your peace like it's gold, because it is. When you protect it, you're not being selfish, you're being smart. You're saying, my mental health, my happiness, and my clarity matter. And when you live from that place, everything you do, your work, your relationships, your goals all start to align in such a beautiful way. And maybe the best part, when you're at peace, people feel it. Your energy becomes calm, confident, and magnetic. You don't have to shout to be heard. You don't have to fight for attention. You just are. And that's powerful. So today and every day moving forward, I hope you remind yourself, you are allowed to walk away from chaos. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to protect your energy, and you don't need anyone's permission to do that. Your peace is your power. Never let it go cheaply. There's something really freeing about understanding that not everyone in the world is going to get you, and honestly, they don't have to. It sounds simple, right? But for a lot of us, especially those who are passionate, creative, or different in any way, we spend way too much energy trying to be understood by people who were never meant to understand us in the first place. I've felt that pressure before, whether it's in school, on set, online, or even in friend circles. That feeling where you start questioning yourself, wondering if maybe you're too loud, too quiet, too ambitious, too emotional, too extra, whatever it is. You start shrinking just to fit into places that were never designed to hold all that you are, and that's where it all starts to feel heavy. But the moment you realize you don't need to fit into a mold someone else made, that's when you begin to feel truly light, truly free. The truth is, not everyone will understand your dreams, your personality, your choices, or even your energy, and that's okay. Some people might misjudge you without even knowing your story. They might think you're showing off when you're just being confident, or that you're cold when you're just protecting your space, or that you're too focused when you're simply dedicated. Let them think what they want, because here's the thing, their opinion doesn't define your reality. Their misunderstanding of you doesn't make your truth any less real. I've been in situations where I've heard whispers or seen comments online where people try to label me. She's too this, she's not enough that. And sure, those words can sting for a second. We're human, after all. But then I remind myself, these people are forming opinions based on a glimpse, not the whole picture. They don't know my heart. They haven't seen the hours of hard work, the late nights, the moments of doubt I've overcome. And more importantly, they haven't walked my path. So why would I hand over my peace to someone who hasn't even earned the right to influence my life? One of the best lessons I've learned is that the need to be understood by everyone is one of the biggest blocks to personal freedom. The more you try to make people get you, the more you start changing pieces of yourself to be more digestible, to make yourself smaller, quieter, more likable. But when you finally stop needing that approval, you start living so much more fully. You start owning your story, even the messy parts. You start saying, this is who I am, and I'm okay if you don't get it. And when you do that, the right people start showing up, the ones who do get you. The ones who see your light and don't feel threatened by it. The ones who support you without needing to understand every single move you make. Because let's be honest, your real tribe, they won't question your vibe. They'll just feel it. So if you've ever felt misunderstood, judged, or isolated because people didn't understand your path, I want to tell you, you're not alone, and there's nothing wrong with you. You're not too much. You are not too little. You are exactly what you are supposed to be, and the people who are meant to be in your life will celebrate that, not try to change it. It also helps to remember that sometimes people don't get you because they've never dared to be as bold as you are. They haven't had the courage to follow their dreams or to step outside of the norm. So when they see you doing it, it triggers something in them. That's not your fault. That's a reflection of where they are on their journey, not a reflection of your worth. So instead of explaining yourself over and over or trying to change people's minds, what if you just kept being you? What if you let your actions speak louder than their assumptions? What if you allowed your energy, your work, your growth to be your response? That's what I choose to do, and it feels powerful, because at the end of the day, your job isn't to convince the world that you're worthy. Your job is to live like you know you are. The right people will feel that energy. And the wrong ones, well, they were never part of your story to begin with. So give yourself permission to stop explaining, stop overthinking, stop waiting for that moment when everyone gets you. maybe they never will. Maybe they're not meant to. But as long as you get you, as long as you know who you are, what you stand for, and where you're headed, that's more than enough. Be proud of who you are becoming, even if not everyone claps for you. Be bold enough to keep showing up, even if not everyone gets the vision. Because the ones who matter will meet you there, and they won't just understand you, they'll support you. And that's where the real magic begins. One of the hardest lessons to learn, especially when you're putting yourself out there, is how to deal with hate. The mean comments, the harsh opinions, the whispers behind your back. It's tough, and let's be real, no matter how strong you are, it can still sting sometimes. I've felt it too, whether it's people misunderstanding you, doubting you, or just straight up throwing negativity your way for no reason at all. It gets heavy. But here's the truth I've learned. You can either let that hate burn you down, or you can turn it into fuel and let it push you forward. And trust me, turning hate into fuel doesn't mean ignoring how it feels. It doesn't mean pretending you're not hurt when someone says something cruel. It means learning how to take that pain, that anger, that frustration, and channel it into growth, into power, into purpose. Because the hate doesn't define you, but what you do with it. That's where your strength shows. When I was younger and just starting out in the industry, I used to wonder what I'd done wrong when someone said something mean. I used to question myself. Did I come across wrong? Did I not work hard enough? Am I actually not good enough? But then I started noticing a pattern. The hate didn't stop, even when I did everything right. And that's when it clicked. People don't always hate you because of something you did wrong. Sometimes they hate you because of what you're doing right. You're showing up, you're shining, you're growing, you're doing things they wish they had the courage to do. And that triggers something in them. So instead of clapping for you, they criticize. Instead of being inspired, they attack. And when I finally understood that, it stopped being personal. Because now, when someone throws hate my way, I don't ask what's wrong with me. I ask, what is this trying to teach me? Sometimes it teaches me patience. Sometimes it teaches me to set stronger boundaries, and sometimes, most powerfully, it teaches me to go even harder for what I want. Because nothing feels better than turning negativity into success. Every time someone said I couldn't, I made sure I did. Every time someone tried to put me in a box, I broke it wide open. Every rude comment. I used it as a reminder of why I started and why I need to keep going. The thing about hate is that it's loud. It demands your attention. But just because it's loud doesn't mean it's true. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to accept it. You get to choose how much space it takes up in your life, and the less you feed it, the weaker it gets. Let it be background noise, not the main soundtrack to your life. Now, using hate as fuel also doesn't mean becoming cold or bitter. It's not about revenge. It's not about proving people wrong just to spite them. It's about proving yourself right. It's about staying so focused on your path that the hate can't reach you. It's about taking that energy, flipping it, and letting it motivate you to rise even higher, not out of anger, but out of clarity. There's a difference between letting hate control you and letting it drive you. When you let it control you, you react emotionally. You try to clap back, argue, defend yourself. But when you let it drive you, you respond by leveling up. Quietly, consistently, powerfully. That's the difference between fire that destroys and fire that builds. And you know what's even better? Turning hate into fuel doesn't just help you, it inspires others. Because when people see you rise above negativity, when they see you succeed with grace, they learn that it's possible. You become a mirror for what resilience looks like. You become proof that no matter how loud the hate gets, it can never drown out someone who's truly focused and aligned. I'm not saying it's easy. It takes practice. It takes maturity. Some days you'll feel like blocking everyone. Some days you'll want to cry or scream or just give up. But if you can take a breath and remember who you are, not who they say you are, you'll start to realize how powerful you really are. Let their hate fuel your hustle. Let their doubt sharpen your focus. Let every insult remind you that your presence is impactful. No one throws stones at something that doesn't shine. At the end of the day, the most successful people in the world weren't the ones who never got hated on. They were the ones who kept going anyway. So if you're facing hate right now, take a moment, feel it, understand it, and then rise above it. Use it. Let it build your fire, the kind that lights up the path ahead of you, not the kind that burns you out. You don't need to be angry. You don't need to fight back. Just keep growing, keep glowing, keep becoming everything they said you couldn't. That's how you win, not with hate, but with undeniable energy, unstoppable focus, and unshakable peace. Because you're more powerful than the noise. One of the best pieces of advice I've ever received is this: keep your focus bigger than the noise. And honestly, it's become something I live by. Because the noise is always their people's opinions, distractions, doubts, pressure, comparison, it never really stops. But your focus, that's something you can protect, nurture, and build into the strongest part of you. We live in a world that's constantly pulling our attention in 100 different directions. One minute, you're excited about your goals, and the next, you're doubting yourself because you saw someone doing better on Instagram. Or maybe you've got people in your life telling you to slow down, to play it safe, to not dream so big. That's the noise, and if you're not careful, it can get so loud that it drowns out your own voice. That's why it's so important to stay locked in on what you want, what you believe in, and where you are going. Focus isn't just about working hard. It's about being intentional. It's about reminding yourself why you started, even when the journey gets tough or confusing. It's about choosing your path over and over again, especially on the days when quitting feels easier. And trust me, there will be days like that. Days when you feel behind. Days when nothing is going right. Days when you wonder if you're even good enough. But those are the exact moments when your focus matters most. For me, staying focused meant tuning out the voices that didn't support the version of me I was trying to grow into. It meant letting go of some friendships that only wanted the old me, the one who stayed small, who didn't speak up, who played safe. It meant learning to say no, even when saying yes would have made more people like me. And it